Hello world, how are the people of the internets today? This is Latisan Sklay. Oh my gosh, it's so exciting! Episode, I think it's 12, anti-hype. I don't even know what episode this is after so much longer. Patch notes, gunner update happened. Yeah. So I guess over time I should start talking about these changes, huh? And probably invest in some guns on this knight, who is still, unfortunately, stuck in the grind of Tier 2 for the lack of Advanced Orbs of Alchemy, because that's just kind of how this game goes. I'll be honest, I did lose a little bit of motivation playing this game for a while. It's just kind of how it is. It's the nature of Spiral Knights. I was on a stream earlier with some people, and just kind of talking about how the game doesn't have the reason why I think Spiral Knights... Yeah, we're jumping right off into like the deep discussions, just right off the bat. But I'm gonna go make some Sprite food. Comparing to games that are like, and I used Hearthstone and League of Legends as the two games because A, they're popular, so that helps, like 10 million players plus, and then B, I've been playing them recently a lot, and they have something that's kind of unique in that every time you're gonna get on, you're gonna have kind of a different experience, or you can create a different experience for yourself. With League of Legends, that might be choosing a different build, or getting a different outfit, or a different set of items, rather. I was looking at my costume and it made me want to say outfit, but different set of items. In Hearthstone, it's building a different deck, because Hearthstone's a card game. But, let's see if I can actually even make these. I can. Cool. But in Spiral Knights, when you log on, if you're going in for the elements of PvE, that is these things here that we're gonna do, I don't know, there's not a whole lot that you get out of it. Yeah, you can play the level, but it's kind of the same level. And for a time, it's very true that for a time, good, I forgot the loadout I want even. This game was like unique, and it had a really nice art style, and like the rocks and stuff like this, I love that, and I still do love that. And the one thing you can do to vary your experience with Spiral Knights is honestly be an artist, because the art style is kind of a huge thing for this game, and shout out to Polygon Cherub and the other artists on the team that helped make this be a thing. But like, this used to feel really organic and really natural and really original and really fun. But once you get over the fact that, alright, I've seen this art style now, then it becomes a little bit more of a grindfest, which is what Spiral Knights is most often accused of. And I'm not going to say they have justification for that. However, I mean, you will get stuck at some point in this game if you're not going to invest money in it, where you need to invest your own money, or invest your own time. I'm good at words. I haven't done this in a while, you know? So it'll take a little bit of getting used to and getting back to. Thank you for the poison vial on the poison level, by the way. Much appreciated, RNG gods. Yeah, that's something we actually never talked about, but the determination of what kind of materials you get at what depths and levels and stuff. The average amount of counts. That was never something we studied very much, but we do know vials is completely random. Your chance of getting any vial is random and not dependent on any other thing that you have in your inventory. Pop this for the funsies. So, at a certain point you get over the art style, and then Spiral Knights is just a hack and slash, which it is. But with the hack and slash, it's not like, oh man, like let me make like a highlights of like my big plays of today. Like, that doesn't happen, because Spiral Knights is just a hack, so you go and you kill monsters. I mean, I suppose if you're really good at lockdown, you can get those, and some people do. But even then, there's not ways where you can, oh, let me try this troll. I mean, outside of, I guess, Triglovs and Cautery Swords, that kind of thing. And that can be fun. But the other options are just so much more superior. It's not like you have a chance. There's ways to, like, let me use the comparison of League of Legends, right? So there's a lot of items in that game. And bear with me with this comparison. But there's a lot of items in that game, and usually there's that one optimal build, one or two optimal item builds that people agree on. But sometimes there's alternate item builds that work, where instead of building like the equivalent of elemental damage, I might build piercing damage instead for this fight. and it's not natural, and it's not what most people recommend, and it's not what the professional players might play, but it still works, and it's really hilarious to see people go, what is this guy doing? And then you still go in and kill them. Like, that's exciting. That doesn't happen in Spiral Knights Lockdown, as far as I'm aware. Yes, people can get kills with Triglav and Cautery Sword, but if you're dueling a double swinging Grand Foster, rip your life. It's just kind of how it goes. It's not like you have a chance to outplay. You just lose the fight. And that's a sad existence, honestly. And if you weren't here for the Arsenal podcast, our own host Glacies, towards the end, he suggests, that was supposed to knock him out of, I was poisoned. Yeah, knocking, I'll get back to the Glacies story, but knocking down enemies on your swings is completely dependent on how much damage you're doing. And when you're poisoned, you deal up to 50% less damage. So, whoops. So, you don't have enough to knock back that lumber. So he hit me, and I'm sad. Oh, this is a fighting room. That's worth. I'll charge this up. There's gonna be turrets that spawn in here, but whatever. It ain't no thing. Especially if two of them don't aggro to me. Come here, boy. Yeah, didn't even know it hit him. Play the shmup, shoot 'em up, dodging game. And hey, I got a heart for my trouble, so it was actually really worth it. So Glacies had the idea, in case you were out of the loop, because I think this is a spectacular idea, of introducing a merchant in Spiral Knights, maybe in the Bazaar. It doesn't really matter where he is, but he has his own special currency that you can only get by completing missions, daily missions. And this is outside of Prestige, obviously. Prestige you do for Prestige, but this is more like quests. This is more like go and kill 30 gremlins with a shadow weapon. It's different themed things where you can fit it in the lore, but you're getting these randomly generated quests each day. Something about there's some like they've detected something that's making shadow weapons dangerous in this area, so go farm 100 slimes and jelly farms without using shadow weapons. I don't know. Kinds of things like that, and those rotate daily, and there's like an easy one and maybe a medium one or a hard one, and they have different payouts of this currency. And so you can go and take a task, do it, and come back to this guy, and he'll pay you with this currency, and you can use it to buy. The original idea was past promotion items, to keep this game from being a pay to cosmetic kind of thing, which it kind of is. But the other way you can do it is say, alright, so here, you want us like a Surge Cuirass? Yeah, you can spend like 10 days worth or 20 days worth of farming. Something that's not like, oh man, I just played once and I got it. Because that would be kind of lame. Okay, that's already, I don't remember what my heating situation is here. That's level 6, I'm not heating my shields. These don't get leveled. Alright, we're done. And you go to this... Wait, where was I? I've lost my train of thought. Please, no. Oh, also, please don't hit me. Alright, let me regather myself as I try to avoid my shield getting broken. He says as his shield gets broken. Fire just does ticks of damage over time, regularly, starting with the instant you get damaged with fire. Can't be shielded, and it'll deal more depending on your resistances, more or less the duration and intensity of the damage. Alright, now that we're done with that. I should have used W there. Whatever. The heart attack. So do the daily missions, go to the merchants, get paid, and every day you can come back and do these like silly quests. And some of them require you to work with teammates. Win 3 games in lockdown. Kill Romulus twins with at least 3 people in your parties. And you can come up with reasons for why these would have to be, right? But just kind of these... Especially if you make them randomly generated, it's not like Three Rings has to put a ton of thought into making hundreds and hundreds of missions. Just kind of a random number or the random objective and maybe a random qualification wouldn't be that hard to do. I mean, I can tell you I code for a living, so that's what I do is computer code, though I don't make games. It's not hard to make randomness like that. And then go, and that would bring people back, would it not? Would that bring me back to keep playing this game so I can get like a Surge Flak Jacket and an Overcharged Mixmaster if I farm like 70 days of missions? Yes, actually it would, because it's a lot more than this prestige business, M is the button, that doesn't do anything for me. Like, yeah, this is free crowns. This is my teleport to depth 9 and 10, where I can fight enemies that I know for sure what type of enemies I'm going to fight. That's what prestige missions are to me right now, and to a lot of us, the podcast guys. So that was Glacey's idea. A stranger that would offer you a daily mission. I think that's a spectacular idea, honestly. I've said it before. We've said it on the podcast. We kept bringing it up. I'll say it again, because that would be something. Here's the thing with the gunner update. And yeah, this is just going to be a big me talking about what's been happening and the fact that I'm getting back into this game a little bit, at least to max this night, so that will happen. And possibly getting back into speedrunning too, which I mentioned on the last episode, the Unleash the Hounds episode, or the one called that, and how we were speedrunning. I kind of want to get back to that. Not playing this game as a casual, time to go full try hard, because there's not much else to do in the game. That's my take on it. And with the gunner update, we got all these guns, and it was spectacular, and we logged on, and we saw all of these things that we'd seen in the beta. Two problems with seeing all the stuff we'd seen in the beta. One, that was it. There was nothing else. So yes, we have new weapons, and yes, the guns were a little bit more balanced, but for the most part, you're in the same clockworks. So it's not like, oh, let me take these guns to a new level. It's like, alright, so let me go and, I don't know, kill Vanaduke again with my new Freeze Polaris, which I don't remember the name of. I'll be honest, I'm still learning the names of the guns. I can check, I suppose. Let's check in the name of science. You probably already know it. Shout it at me. Freeze Pulsar, the Permafroster. So you could go and do the same levels you always did, but this game to come back out of hibernation, because it's not dead. Honestly, this game has so much potential in so many ways, and I hope it keeps going strong. I'm really interested to keep covering this game, really interested to keep seeing what happens, but it needs to pick up on some of the potential, and for all the hype the gunner update had, it deserved the hype that it got, but it needs something more than just weapons, because it's a hack and slash, and the fact of the matter is, once the majority of your player base has seen all of the dungeons in a hack and slash that's supposed to be random, it's time to add more dungeons. And that's how I kind of see this, is it's time to add more dungeons. I'm gonna kill these guys because they're in my way. This guy will punch through the shield for me. Oh, that's pretty effective. Let's pop barrier too. Back up to keep it from tinking, and then come back in. Because invincitinks happen if you try and damage something too often with a barrier, but you can back up and reset it, and then he will take damage again. And barriers are a great way to deal damage. You can do that 2, or if you're really good, 3 times before the barrier wears off. Which is a static cooldown across all depths. So we need more than just the weapons. I know they've promised new things, and I'm eagerly awaiting those things, and honestly, they're not going to get the same hype the gunner update did, because a lot of people were justifiably or not disappointed with the gunner update, because it brought a lot of content. The other problem with it coming out of beta, and it was the stuff that we saw, is that nothing got changed. Back last year, I mean, it's 2015 now, but early 2014, and you all would be able to tell me when the thing was actually out on the beta servers. That was a lot of stuff, and we gave a lot of feedback and said, hey, this seems to be working, this didn't seem to be working, and they may have changed some values, they may have, but some of the biggest things that I heard were like, it's just more varieties of guns, which takes the strategy out of, like, oh man, here's a good example, do I pick Skelly Suit, or do I pick Arcane Salamander Suit, or do I pick, no, that's a terrible comparison, Skelly Suit or Snarblax, right? Do I take Graviton or Electron? But when you add, like, all of the status types of all of the guns, and you just have this, like, and it's, I don't know. It just means that, yes, there's more things to get, but they're more of the same kinds of things. The other thing was this. Like, I don't know what about this. Yes, divide by 4 because there's, or 3 because it's all the stars. But we're like, that's a lot. and it doesn't leave much room for choice. It's just there's one definite best answer. I'm not sure about how I feel about one definite best answer. That's kind of... I don't know. This game was all about choice, right? Back when I was not even doing the podcast and just playing this game for fun and maxing my first night. Oh my goodness. What's the crowns market like before I keep talking here? That's decent. Oh my goodness, that's decent. Okay, I'm happy with that. Let's go run some more levels while we... Let's hit the arcade. What do we got here? Not a boss depth? It's good enough for me. I had like sticky notes, like digital, you know, like the sticky notes kind of that you can put on your desktop. I had those full of just different build ideas. I'm like, what could I make that would like cover all of like as many weaknesses as possible in like these tank builds? And I feel like a lot of people at some point, or even still do, kind of did those kinds of things. Pew. I don't know if these things drop crowns. I've never seen them do it, but whatever. Darkest Moonshine, huh? Kind of clever name. Is that like Darkest Moonshine is in Guinness? Like the beer? I don't know. Or Darkest Moonshine? Like a new moon? I don't know. But there were choices, like, do I want to use the Combustor or the Fang of Vogue? And what armor am I going to pair that with? Because obviously Vogue armor is catered to Fang of Vogue, but I'm not sure if I want attack speed over damage bonus. And where am I going to be using this elemental weapon anyway? So it's kind of piecing together all of these builds. What kind of support bomb or support gun do I want for... I wasn't even paying attention. What level is this? Mechanized Mal. Perfect. Danger Room. Not worth it at depth 9. You get like no payout from those. And if you get orbs, they're going to be 2 stars. So, sad existence. We are currently just farming up crowns until we can get some more. We need to buy a lot of advanced orbs of alchemy, which means just playing the game and talking. You know, the dream is I do this 3 times a week. Honestly, it's possible. We'll see what happens. They won't all be this long. I'm kind of excited to get back. We'll see how long that lasts. We'll see how long straight up crowns farming lasts. I'll probably mix it up if the other guys are willing to play. Come back to this with me and do speedruns or something. That is other guys being Solitron and Glacies and Greenlink. But if not, and they're still on League, then I'll honestly probably be playing with them. I walked right into that. Oh, don't walk into that, though. Why do I keep using Q instead of the much more needed W? I'm so good at this. Ah! Alright, I'm popping this now, because I don't want to die on depth 9. Like the nub that I am. I haven't played this game in a long time, don't blame me. I had all these choices, back to the topic at hand, because I digress so easily, as you all know. Go back and watch my own videos and go, wait, I never went back to finish talking about that. The nub that I am. Yeah, that's okay. Oh, that's nice to find. But when you add all of those armors and it's just every combination of every defense, it's not... I don't know. I don't know whose design choice. A lot of people, myself included, said, I don't want every choice. Can I have some choices so I have to make my own decision about whether I want to take like another kind of set of gear instead of the ones that you've given me, where there's obviously one optimal choice. If I'm in an elemental fire place, there's a specific armor to best cater my needs, and honestly I don't want that. I really don't. I'm more thrilled about if poison is much more utility than freeze is, though I'm sure I'll never use any of them. I'll try and use them. They're just so useless. They don't do enough. Ooh. Combo. Can I hit R here? Boosh. Okay, sorry, that took a lot of concentration. I usually don't press R. Like, with Mask Wraith, that's the cloak button. I, like, never use that, so... Ooh, the recon? Do I want that? Guess I'll take it. It's a novelty item. Take extra damage, die. Drop a heart? No? Okay. Ooh, this room's not fun. Guess we'll do it this way. Oh, can he not even reach me? That would be glorious. I can see on my mini-map where they are. Oh, they can't even reach me. Oh, this is beautiful. Alright, so I'll keep talking. Gunner Update took all those armor and helmet choices out of the game, which for me was kind of unfortunate, because that was I'm such a noob. A critical part of the game. And we asked for it to, can we not have that? But they had it, and that's fine. And it's not a, oh my goodness, Nick left, the game is now like breaking. That's not what happens. Or that's not what's happening with the game. On the other hand, I don't know. I would rather them have not put all of that time into armor making of something that a lot of us asked to not have because we'd rather not have it. If you do want it, then that's spectacular, and I'm not against you in any way. Like, we got the armors and it's good, and for collectors, it is more quote-unquote endgame content that you can use to spend more time in the game trying to collect all of the things with all of your eternal orbs, assuming you can heat it with your, what are the ones before Eternals? Shining? Yeah, I haven't played this game in a while. It's showing, isn't it? See these gray hairs on my miner's cap? I'm getting extremely distracted. But I don't know what else there is to say. I've kind of repeated myself a few times now. We got in the final product basically exactly what we saw in beta, and there weren't many changes, and an entire year nearly elapsed before it came out. And a lot of us on the day of just kind of sitting and mumble talking with each other, us of course being the podcast hosts, just kind of wondering what happened. Like, this isn't, like, what were they doing for the past year? Were they working on the other projects, the challenge mode, or whatever that cooperative Clockworks running mode is that Nick was talking about a long time ago? Is it the arcade expansion and the next boss? Because obviously they did have the thing with Herrick's and the changing of the lore and the little quote-unquote cutscene, and that was pretty cool. Like, you got to admit, even if you're a Three Rings hater, that was pretty cool. But I mean, here we are now, and we don't have any new levels. It's just kind of, as everyone has said, and I don't need to bear repeating it, it was an underwhelming update. Especially just because we saw all this stuff, and now it's in our hands again. I'm not sure. It's like, all right, now everyone can play it except people who bought energy this month. I mean, you might as well make it people that bought energy this month, because that'll get you some monies. All right, let's get out of here. Oh, I meant to switch to sword. 1, 2. Oh, I also should have switched to my. No, I'd rather have. Oh my gosh, guys, I'm bad. So what else is there to say? The guns themselves, the armors, I'm not going to comment on because you basically heard my opinion on them. I don't want them. Like, it's nice that I have them. I'm not going to whine and complain. Like, I'm not whining and complaining, as much as it sounds like I am. I'm saying that I wish that they hadn't made the design choice that they had, but I'm perfectly accepting of the design choice they chose. Oh, please. Attack speed. There we go. I'm auto-attacking beasts because, as I explained in the last episode, with this sword, it's much easier to stab through things when you're auto-targeting, because the poking is so narrow here. It helps you. Here I'm not auto-attacking, and there's a good chance that I'll miss my poking. Oh. I'm getting lucky. Alright. Skill shots, baby. But it can be difficult. How's that? And which way should I go? This way first? What? I thought I hit all 3 buttons. There we go. Pick this up. I'll pop one of these now. Might be a mistake. I'm kind of hoping to find another one. There we go. And glowings. Beautiful. Not that I really need them. I kind of need them. I will need them in the future. I have 100 and something though. We're good. So, helmets and armors. I wish we didn't have that many, but it's nice to have them, and I'm happy for gunners that have them, that have their options now. That's great. Like, it really is. Can this thing die, please? It's just inconvenient. guns, again, we didn't talk about them before they came out because of a non-spoiler podcast. But now that they're out, I mean, they look nice, don't they? How many do you have? I want to know which one you prioritize getting first. I like the changes to the Blitz Needle, honestly. Not that they nerfed it, because they didn't. They made it completely still a legitimate weapon that is, some would argue, stronger than it used to be. I'm hearing the stronger than it used to be argument, and I'm inclined to not disagree of sorts, because it is pretty strong. The specific buff, I don't want to read it, so I will find it here. Auto gun line. Decreased wind-up time for attack, increased range and bullet speed. So basically, you fire bullets much faster, and you went from this kind of tanky bullet pouring to the chain gun, and now you are the chain gun. And that's what's up with R. Hoff. And now we go. And we get hearts. Please? I really want to pick up these remedies. I don't want to have to sit here and press the buttons, but I guess I will. I should be using the fire ones, I'm stupid. Whatever. There we go. 1, 2, 3. Man, my damage is abysmal, guys. Guess I'm using a two-star sword. Oh, maxed health, okay. So, made it more of a chain gun. I honestly like it. It feels fun. It feels nice to use. People that are wanting gun demonstrations, I would recommend strongly another member of our Spiral Knights Network group, which is the group of us that have kind of said, hey, let's be partners and promote each other's work, of the small community that kind of still makes Spiral Knights content, even in limited amounts. And so that includes Greenlink, all the podcast members. I walked right into that. Oh, hello. It's like Winterfest all over again. How was y'all's Winterfest? Did you play? I want to know. I kind of want to know who's still in this and who's not. And again, what gun did you start with? I want to know. I'm curious what people prioritize. And maybe more importantly, not more importantly, I also want to know, how did it turn out for you? This combination is so potent because... Oh, yes. Oh, that's so powerful. Because the movement speed keeps me dashing forward so I can hit them with all 3 strikes. Okay, I missed a button somewhere. Whatever. And the damage bonus makes me very powerful. I enjoyed that a lot. What else was there? The Magnus line is really fun, and you can do one-shotty kinds of things, apparently, on... Is that what I heard on Romulus Twins? If you Iron Slug charged Romulus Twins, you can kill their phase in one go. It's really fun to do on Lumbers. There's videos about that. Oh! I'm sorry, I never finished my thought. Like I say, it's been a while. Go watch Chalk3, youtube.com/gameplayflix. Is a member of our SKN, Spiral Knights Network, and he has been putting up videos of some of the guns. So he has, I think, most recently done the Griffin. He did the Wildfire, I believe, which is the Fire Polaris. The Griffin is the Piercing Antigua. So you can go watch those if you want to see how the guns are working. I guess I can switch over to my main real quick at the end of this. We'll do one more, I guess, because I want to see what this is. If it's Graveyard, I'm going to be really happy and sad. I want crowns. I don't have a good weapon for it. That's fine. Actually, this is scary. If I die here, I'll just call the run done. But we'll try it. Compounds are tricky, especially without weapon slots. Because you kind of want to bring your mixed damage. I guess I'll just do this. Oh, it's a Solotron.
Yeah, I had some good matches today.
Nice. Playing Smash. I'm recording video right now.